Bro, let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and felt invisible? Like nobody notices you? Nobody respects you? Nobody takes you seriously? Bro, that's not bad luck. That's not genetics. That's not the world being unfair. That's a level problem. Because when a man builds himself right, when his body is sharp, his mind is disciplined, his presence is controlled, he doesn't ask for attention, he commands it. See, the world doesn't ignore weak men out of cruelty. It ignores them because they haven't given it a reason to look. But here's the truth most guys don't want to hear. If people can ignore you, it means you're still average. And average is silent. Average blends in. Average gets overlooked. So today, bro, we're not talking about chasing validation. We're not talking about impressing people. We're talking about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to speak loudly. But when he walks in, the energy shifts. Let's build that man. Bro, the fastest way to become forgettable is to constantly try to be seen. Most men think they're being nice. They think replying instantly, always being available, always agreeing, always showing up makes them valuable. It doesn't. It makes them predictable, and predictable men are easy to ignore. Here's the truth. When you chase attention, you lower your value. Think about it. The man who's always texting first, always double texting, always explaining himself, always trying to prove he's a good guy. He doesn't look confident. He looks hungry. And hunger without discipline looks desperate. Bro, attention is not something you ask for. It's something you attract. And attraction is built on value. Instead of asking, why doesn't she notice me? Ask, have I become a man worth noticing? Stop performing for approval. Stop shaping your personality just to fit in. Stop laughing too hard at jokes that aren't funny just to be accepted. You don't need more validation. You need more self-respect. When you respect yourself, you don't over-explain. You don't over-text. You don't over-give. You don't overstay where you're not appreciated. You move differently. Bro, the moment you stop begging for attention is the moment people start wondering about you, because now you're not chasing the spotlight. You're building the stage. 2. Fix your body first. Bro, and before people hear you, they see you. Before they respect your mindset, they judge your presence. That's reality. You can have big dreams, big goals, big opinions, but if your body looks undisciplined, the world assumes your life is too. Your body is your first reputation. You don't need to look like a bodybuilder. You don't need six-pack for Instagram, but you cannot look careless, because a strong body sends one clear message. This man can control himself. And self-control is attractive. Self-control is powerful. Self-control is rare. Bro, going to the gym is not about vanity. It's about identity. When you train consistently, you build muscle, you reduce excess fat, you improve posture, you increase testosterone naturally, you sharpen your discipline, and discipline changes the way you walk. Your shoulders sit back, your chest opens up, your steps slow down, you stop shrinking yourself. Even your grooming matters: clean haircut, trimmed beard, clear skin, clothes that fit your body properly, shoes that are clean. These small details tell the world, I take care of myself. And a man who takes care of himself is harder to disrespect. Bro, understand this deeply. If you ignore your body, people will ignore you. But when your physique reflects effort, consistency, and self-respect, you don't need to say much. Your presence speaks first. 3. Develop unshakable confidence. Bro, confidence is not loud, it's not flexing, it's not talking over people, it's not pretending you don't care. Real confidence is calm. And here's the hard truth: you can't fake confidence for long. Because confidence is built on competence. If you haven't built anything, if you haven't mastered anything, deep down, you'll always doubt yourself. And people can feel that. Bro, unshakable confidence comes from proof. Proof that you can suffer and still show up. Proof that you can fail and still continue. Proof that you can improve. That's why you need a skill, not 10. One skill that makes you valuable. It could be business fitness, public speaking, content creation, coding, sales. Master something, because when you know you're good at something, your energy changes. You stop seeking approval. You stop comparing yourself. You stop feeling small in rooms. Your body language shifts. You hold eye contact longer. You speak slower. You don't rush your words. You don't laugh nervously. You become grounded, and grounded men are dangerous in a good way. Bro, here's another key. Do uncomfortable things regularly. Talk to strangers. Go to the gym when you don't feel like it. Post that content. Take that risk. Every uncomfortable action expands your identity. And the more you expand your identity, the less fragile your confidence becomes, because now it's not based on compliments, it's based on capability. Remember this, arrogance is loud because it's insecure. Confidence is quiet because it doesn't need permission. If you want to become a man nobody can ignore, don't try to be impressive, be undeniable. 4. Master emotional control. If your emotions control you, you will never control your life. Read that again. A man who reacts to everything is a man everyone can manipulate. One insult, you're angry. One rejection, you're broken. One criticism, you're defensive. That's not strength, that's fragility. And fragility is easy to ignore. Bro, emotional control is power. The ability to stay calm when someone disrespects you. The ability to stay composed when things don't go your way. The ability to walk away instead of exploding. Most men think being dominant means being loud. No, dominance is being unshaken. When someone tries to provoke you and you just look at them, calm, steady, controlled. That's intimidating because now they can't read you. And what people can't read, they respect. Here's something you must understand. Your first emotion is instinct. Your second reaction is choice. Train the second one. Pause before speaking. Breathe before reacting. Think before responding. Instead of reacting with ego, respond with intention. If she doesn't reply fast, you stay calm. If someone criticizes you, you evaluate, not explode. If you fail, you adjust, not complain. Bro, emotional discipline builds mysterious presence. You don't overshare your pain. You don't complain publicly. You don't let your mood control your mission. Because a man with emotional control cannot be easily shaken, cannot be easily manipulated, and cannot be easily ignored. Weak men are loud with emotions. Strong men are selective with them. And when you become selective, your words gain weight. 5. Increase your status and value. Bro, let's be real. The world responds to value, not excuses, not potential, not one day. Value. You can be kind, you can be loyal, you can have a good heart. But if you don't bring value to the table, you will always be optional. And optional men are easy to ignore. Bro, status is not about flexing money. It's about positioning. It's about becoming the kind of man who solves problems, creates opportunities, and moves with purpose. Ask yourself, what happens if you disappear today? Does anything change? If the answer is not much, then you haven't built enough value yet. And that's okay, but it's your responsibility to fix it. Start with financial stability. You don't need to be rich overnight, but you must be progressing. Improve your income, learn high-income skills, build something that grows, a business, a brand, a career, investments. Money isn't everything, but stability gives you options. And options give you power. Then build your network. Surround yourself with men who are disciplined, men who are ambitious, men who are uncomfortable with average, because proximity shapes identity. And identity shapes destiny. Bro, when your life has direction, when your work produces results, when your name is attached to competence, you don't need to announce your value, and people feel it. They notice how you speak, they notice how you move, they notice how you don't chase, because you're busy building. Understand this deeply. High-value men are not loud. They are occupied with growth, occupied with execution, occupied with winning quietly. If you want to become the man nobody can ignore, stop trying to look important, become important. 6. Speak less, say more. Bro, most men talk too much. They explain too much. They justify too much. They reveal too much. And every time you overshare, you reduce your weight in the room. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. The man who speaks less forces people to listen more carefully when he finally does speak. Think about it. In any room, the loudest guy is rarely the most respected. The calm one, the one who observes first, the one who only talks when necessary. That's the man people watch. Bro, mystery creates gravity. When you don't reveal everything, people get curious. People lean in. People pay attention. But when you narrate your entire life story, your plans, your emotions, your next move, there's nothing left to discover. And what's fully exposed loses intrigue. This doesn't mean be socially awkward. It means be intentional. When you speak, be clear, be direct, be calm, be concise. Don't rush your words. Don't fill silence out of nervousness. Don't laugh just to soften your statements. Let silence breathe. Silence shows you're comfortable, and comfort signals confidence. Bro, powerful men don't talk to impress. They talk to express. There's a difference. If you're constantly trying to sound smart, you'll sound insecure. But when you know your worth, you don't need to overperform. You say what matters, then you stop. And suddenly, people take you more seriously because now your words have weight. 7. Build scarcity. Bro, if you are always available, you are never valuable. Let that sink in. Most men think being constantly present makes them important. Replying instantly, saying yes to every invitation, cancelling their own plans for other people, always picking up the phone. That's not loyalty. That's lack of boundaries. Scarcity creates respect. Not games, not manipulation, but priority. When your time is limited, people value it more. When your energy isn't free for everyone, people treat it carefully. Bro, your time is your life. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to your growth. High-value men are not hard to reach because they're arrogant. They're hard to reach because they're focused on their fitness, their mission, their income, their personal growth. They don't ignore people. They just don't revolve around them. There's a difference. If someone texts you, you don't have to respond in 10 seconds. If someone invites you, you don't have to automatically agree. If someone disrespects you, you don't have to argue. Sometimes the strongest move is distance. Bro, when you build a life that excites you, you naturally become less available. And that's when something interesting happens. People start adjusting to you. They wait. They respect your schedule. They take you more seriously because now they feel you have options, and options are attractive. Remember this, a man without boundaries is a man without value, but a man with priorities, with structure, with standards, he becomes rare. And rare men are never ignored. 8. Dress like you respect yourself. Bro, before you speak, your appearance already introduced you. People won't say it out loud, but they judge in seconds. Not based on brand, not based on price, based on care. If your clothes are wrinkled, your shoes dirty, your fit sloppy, it signals one thing: I don't pay attention to detail. And if you don't pay attention to detail in your appearance, people assume you don't in your life. Bro, dressing well is not about fashion, it's about standards. You don't need designer brands, you don't need flashy outfits, you need clothes that fit your body properly, neutral, masculine colors, clean shoes, simple, sharp combinations, good hygiene. That's it. Fit is everything. A cheap shirt that fits perfectly looks better than an expensive one that hangs loose. When your body is in shape and your clothes follow your frame, your presence multiplies. You stand straighter, you move slower, you feel sharper, and when you feel sharper, you act sharper. Bro, presentation affects psychology. If you dress like you don't care, you behave like you don't matter. But when you prepare intentionally, hair done, beard trimmed, scent clean, clothes fitted, you tell your brain, I take myself seriously. And the world mirrors that energy. This is not about impressing others. It's about respecting yourself, because when you respect yourself visibly, people hesitate to disrespect you. Remember, style doesn't create value, but it amplifies it. And when a disciplined body meets clean presentation, meets calm confidence, you don't need to ask for attention. You attract it. 9. Be mission-oriented. Bro. A man without a mission is easily distracted, easily influenced, easily manipulated, easily ignored, because he stands for nothing. When you don't have direction, you start living for entertainment, for validation, for women, for temporary pleasure. And temporary pleasure creates permanent weakness. Bro, mission creates gravity. When a man has something bigger than himself to chase, his energy changes. He wakes up with intention. He says no more easily. He doesn't get emotionally thrown off by small things because he's focused. Your mission doesn't have to be world domination, but it must be meaningful. It could be building financial freedom, creating a strong body, becoming exceptional in your field, supporting your future family, building a brand or legacy. Whatever it is, it must demand discipline from you, because discipline builds identity, and identity builds presence. Bro, when you're mission-oriented, you don't argue online, you don't chase drama, you don't obsess over who didn't text back. You're too busy building, and that's attractive, not because you're pretending to be busy, but because you actually are. Women respect it, men respect it, even your enemies respect it. Because direction is rare, most men drift, very few decide. And the man who decides where he's going, what he tolerates, what he's building, becomes solid. Hard to shake, hard to distract, hard to ignore. Bro, when your life has a mission, you stop seeking attention. You start commanding respect. 10. Be willing to walk away. Bro, power is not forcing something to stay. Power is knowing you can leave. Most men lose respect the moment they become afraid to lose someone, afraid to lose the girl, afraid to lose the friends, afraid to lose the opportunity, afraid to be alone. And fear makes you tolerate disrespect. You accept bad treatment, you over-explain, you beg for understanding, you lower your standards. Why? Because you don't want to walk away. Bro, the man who is willing to walk away is the man who cannot be controlled. When you know your worth, when you have options, when you have a mission, you don't cling, you choose. If someone disrespects you, you address it once. If it continues, you remove yourself. No drama, no long speeches, no emotional explosions, just distance. That calm ability to say, this no longer aligns with me, and actually mean it. That's strength, because now you're not operating from fear. You're operating from standards. Bro, abundance mindset changes everything. When you've built your body, your confidence, your value, your mission, you understand something powerful. Nothing is scarce. There are more opportunities, more connections, more rooms to enter, more people to meet, but there is only one you, and if you don't protect your standards, no one else will. Remember this, the man who is scared to lose will always lose. But the man who is prepared to walk away is the one people fight to keep. So don't chase, don't beg, don't cling. Build yourself so strong that staying with you is a privilege, and walking away from you is a mistake. That's how you become the man nobody can ignore. Bro, none of this is about becoming arrogant. None of this is about showing off. This is about becoming solid. Solid in your body, solid in your mindset, solid in your emotions, solid in your standards. Because when you are solid, the world feels it. You don't need to announce your growth. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to compete for attention. You become undeniable. Understand this. Becoming the man nobody can ignore is not about changing who you are. It's about removing weakness, removing desperation, removing distraction, and replacing it with discipline. This won't happen in a week, not in a month, but every workout, every uncomfortable conversation, Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're building that man, one decision at a time. So if today you feel overlooked, if today you feel underestimated, good. Use it. Let silence sharpen you. Let rejection refine you. Let pressure build you. Because one day, the same room that ignored you will feel your presence before you even speak. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay dangerous in a controlled way. Keep strong, bro. You can do it.